Hey Nitwit Nation, Joe and Dom here. We are back from a break, and boy are we excited to talk about Xbox. As you may know, Xbox has their showcase this Sunday, June 11th. Aaron Greenberg, Vice President of Marketing, has been hyping the show up like no tomorrow. Dom, what has he been saying?
First off, Aaron is coming at us with none of our first-party games in the show are full CG trailers. Everything is either in-game footage, in-engine footage, or in-game footage with some cinematics. Each of our trailers will be labeled, so it's hopefully clear for our fans. Also, we can confirm there will be no movie trailers in our game shows. And my favorite tweet so far, from the hype up of everything, someone asked that they're looking forward to what Starfield is brewing, and he simply said, I'd bring an extra pair of underwear in that case. So clearly the hopes and dreams are back on Starfield, and what appears to be a big event. I mean, we saw PlayStation's event. I think PlayStation's was a fine event, nothing great, nothing bad, it was just an event. But Xbox is really hyping this up as if they know what they're doing. Like, this is everything they've hoped for. This is their shot.
Yeah, I mean, this could be their only shot, right, to win back a lot of fans that have lost that, I don't want to say necessary trust, but I'm going to say trust, because this Redfall launch was pathetic. Let's just be real. The game was terrible. And in the fact... They did. And the worst thing about it, they hyped this game up like no tomorrow. So the hype that they're doing now, it makes sense why people are questioning it, right? But this isn't a video necessary to critique them, right? This is a video about what we expect what we're gonna see at the show coming up, right? So, Dom, I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot, kick the can here. I think we're gonna see Fable. I'm pretty confident we're gonna see Fable.
We better.
And I think everyone is in agreement with that because of that Twitter release or that tweet.
Yeah.
The most recent tweet by Xbox, well, a few days ago, was fairy dust all the way up to keyboard and mouse, and it had, tune in for the Xbox event. That right there tells me it's Fable. It had the music playing that sounded like Fable, but not just that. In Fable, when you get a quest, you walk up behind fairy dust. So fairy dust is leading you to your quest marker, right? Mm-hmm. If Fable's not there, it's a bust because your fans are expecting it to be there now. I understand this could also technically be Avowed since it is a fantasy RPG, which I do expect to be there as well. But this to me screamed Fable. What do you think, Dom?
No, I think Fable makes the most sense. We've been teased with it before, and it's time. It's been too long. It's a game that's needed, and I feel a staple for Xbox. And I think to help rebuild trust, I mean, we need it back. We need a game like this for Xbox just to be like, listen, we haven't forgotten our old games. We're still gonna showcase them. We're still gonna make sure that you all are in love and you're being taken care of. It's just, I can't imagine. There's a couple other ones we'll talk about too throughout this, but without even a tease or something, like, we're past the tease now for Fable. Like, we need something of Fable, like substance here. Yeah. And I feel we're gonna get it. I mean, it would make too much sense not to.
I agree. I 100% agree. And I do want to throw a curveball out there because this is something I've thought about a lot. And maybe we're getting a Fable trilogy remastered in Unreal Engine 5 instead of the actual new Fable game, right? I think we'll see the new Fable game for sure. I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see it. But I do think that this could also be a sign for the trilogy remaster because the game came out in 2006. So to get a remastered version of this game in Unreal Engine 5 would be absolutely amazing. And it's due for an anniversary, right? It's due for a launch. Mm-hmm. And I think that we'll get that with a trailer of the new Fable in the works. And I think we'll see the new Fable in 2024, the holiday season timeframe. Possibly early 2025.
Now, something also to mention on that is Aaron Greenberg has tweeted out people asking, "Oh, is this going to be just like last time? Is it going to be 12 months? Are we going to have to wait forever?" And he simply has just been saying no to everyone. So it is something to keep in mind. It seems like Xbox is ready for consistent launches throughout the rest of this year. So hopefully we don't get, oh yeah, but it's going to be a year and a half, and that was a big fail of last year. Although it got us hyped up, but there's no reason for any of that anymore. So, although I like your idea, even if it is going to be next December, we would get something in the meantime. And I could see that being with a lot of their titles, at least getting little bits now or remasters of the old game, because they've lost that love for it and going back to it. But no, I definitely feel strong about Fable coming within the next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Some type of Fable, right? It may not be the new launch right away, but it's going to be something. The other thing I want to bring up too, that is not Fable related, but that I think we're going to see is a Gears trilogy remaster as well. Maybe just Gears 1, maybe just Gears 1. I don't know. I'm going to call it a trilogy. And I know a lot of people are going to think right off the bat, like, man, all these remasters. But again, Gears 1, 2, and 3 are phenomenal games. They deserve a remastered, especially in current Unreal Engine 5. And you're talking about the Coalition, one of the best developers Xbox has. And they make phenomenal games. Their games are always top notch, and obviously they're known for the Gear games. But the point being is that I would not be shocked to see something along those lines come to the show either. Now, there hasn't really been any leaks in that regard, but I got a good feeling that it's time. We haven't had a Gears 6 game. We may get a little snippet of Gears 6, but I honestly, truly feel that we're going to see a Gears trilogy. I do.
Now, I would love a trilogy, but Gears is the only game I'd be okay with them teasing if it was going to take longer than a year. But if I could get anything Gears related in this next showcase, that I think that's an expectation as well. Obviously, we already know Starfield's going to be a main thing here, but I would love to get a tease of Gears and an absolute trailer for Fable. I think those are three things that I think are going to be my guarantees. Like, we're going to have to get something of those, at least Fable and Gears, because Starfield, it's a little important right now. Yeah,
so September 9th, Starfield, obviously super important. And I think most people can agree if Starfield doesn't take off, Xbox is going to be in a rude awakening, right? It's going to hurt them overall long term. But they do have a pretty good setup for this year. We know Forza Motorsports is coming out this year. We know Starfield is coming out this year, and they'll both be at the showcase for sure. So we can kind of eliminate those two off of here because we know they're going to be there. But I have a couple more curveballs I'll throw out there because these are some things I've been thinking about a lot. What about the Halo BR? They talked about this Halo BR. It was leaked a long time ago. We still haven't seen anything about it. We haven't heard about it. Would that not be like the biggest, like, bomb the drop on us during a show? Like, hey, boom, guess what? Halo BR is coming out. Free to play, obviously, on PC, Xbox, coming out today. You can download today. It's a shadow drop, right? That's what they're called, shadow drops. It's just there for us. I think that would be a banger if that happened.
It would be amazing. And Xbox has shadow dropped us plenty of times, and that would be something massive that would kept this tightly wrapped. Yeah. So if they did that, though, people would flip out.
And the reality of it is too, Halo Infinite is doing well, but it definitely has lost a main part of the audience, and this Halo BR could save it and definitely help it out tremendously. Another game I think we can guarantee that will be there is going to be Avowed. I know I mentioned that earlier on in the podcast, but it's definitely going to be there. It's something that we saw 4 or 5 years ago, but we haven't heard anything about it, haven't seen anything. Yeah, it's going to be there. It's Obsidian's version of, it takes place in the Pillars of Eternity universe, which is remarkable games. It looks like their fantasy version of, you want to do Skyrim. If you want to compare the two, that's, I guess, the closest thing you compare it to. But that's super, super exciting coming from them, considering the fact they're such a talented studio. But before we move on to something else, Obsidian Entertainment, who makes Avowed, they also make Grounded. Dom, what are your thoughts on them actually having a Grounded update for us?
It would be my dream. I love Grounded, and I think Grounded. I expected Grounded's update that came out last month. I thought this would be one they would showcase it and come out, but they definitely went toe to toe with Small Lands, and I think they did a phenomenal job with it. That was very smart of them. They had a whole plan for it, so I hope, especially with as many data mines and everything, with everything we've ever discovered in the past of that game, we can get some form of either the lizard or the ant queen, one of them, hopefully another boss. But that also was a month ago that we did get a huge update for it. But Grounded kind of has become the Game Pass staple, in my opinion. I mean, it seems to always be there and has a huge fan base, so hopefully they keep up that presence with the game. And I think Grounded is a perfect one because it's not as much of a serious game as some of these other big hitters are going to be. And it's just like a fun, put it on, relax type game.
Yeah. No, it is. And I would love to see it myself. As you know, I'm a massive fan as well. And I would love to see Grounded. I think the likelihood is very low. But I would love to see Grounded come up with a massive update. Something that we both have been asking for and the community has been asking for are mounts. And the reality of it is we'll probably never get them in Grounded, but if they added them, that would be amazing.
It won't stop us from asking.
Exactly. That's one thing. Again, Small Lands did really good.
Yeah.
They added mounts at the very beginning and then added an update a few months after launch with flying mount. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Another game I think we can guarantee that's going to be there is Hellblade. That Hellblade 2 by Ninja Theory. We've seen a lot about it, and I feel like they're going to show it on Sunday, and it will be coming out this year. So I think we can guarantee a pretty good lineup for this holiday season. I guess September and on by Xbox. A few other mentions I want to throw out there is Wolfenstein 3 by Machine Games. There's a possibility that could be shown, but the more important one out of this, out of all these predictions, is Indiana Jones. Ooh. Indiana Jones, we know it's in development by Machine Games at Bethesda Softworks, right, or ZeniMax Studios, and we've known this for quite some time, but we haven't seen too much about the game. It's their version of more or less Uncharted, right? And with actually a huge IP already attached to it. It's Machine Games makes phenomenal games. Their games are typically 8s and higher. And Wolfenstein, if you're a fan, again, they just make remarkable games. Do you think we're going to see this on Sunday?
I think you're more looking for Contraband over Wolfenstein, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah.
But I don't see why not. The thing is, with Xbox, we saw what came from the last showcase. We don't really know too much of what to expect in the next year, so anything is a real possibility. So Wolfenstein is a legitimate one to be showed, like, firm, here it is, this is what we're working on. And especially with the announcement of we're not using any CG for like full trailer, anything like that. That's a huge announcement because that means these games are ready, and if time frames match up, Wolfenstein should be there. Yeah. But it's so hard to tell with Xbox because I feel they've been so secretive about so many things lately. But that's just because they keep dudding out on so many of their quote unquote big hitters, like things they showcased before that haven't worked. So I don't know if that's like a strategy or what, but
okay. No, I think that's fair. I do think there's a big chance we're going to see one of those two games. They're both being developed by the same studio.
Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards Indiana Jones because we have seen, if I'm not mistaken, we saw a CGI trailer of it at one point, or an announcement of something. But I do think we're going to see it because it's been a long time.
Yes.
So I do think we're going to see it. Now, two other games I keep thinking about, and they've been out there in the rumor mill a little bit, and a Mandalorian MMO or a Lord of the Rings MMO being created by ZeniMax Studio. We know ZeniMax is already creating an MMO that's not part of Skyrim. It's a separate MMO with it's a licensed IP. We know that, at least, because we do know that they've been working with Disney. So that being said, it makes me think, are they going to show the Mandalorian or possibly the Lord of the Rings MMO? It's possible. Now, the Lord of the Rings one, I'm more on the edge of that's not going to happen. That's more of a rumor that popped up recently. But for me, I think the Mandalorian MMO, we may see a trailer of it. I really think we may see a trailer, just because we've known about this for quite some time. I don't think it's going to be an in-depth one. I don't think it's going to be a game we're going to see anytime soon, because they're still supporting Elder Scrolls Online and they're still creating expansion packs for it. But that is one I do think we may end up seeing. They mentioned that, remember, this is almost a 2-hour show with 30 minutes dedicated to just Starfield.
That's what makes no sense.
Then think about it. An hour and 15 minutes worth of games, of trailers. What are we going to see? They're going to have a lot of games here. As the trailer said, there is a lot of games, Starfield. So, I mean, the reality of it is, I'm trying to anticipate something that we wouldn't see coming, and I really do think a Mandalorian MMO could be possible.
2 hours of nonstop games, and Starfield. I mean, that's the thing, is it's so hard to be like, oh yeah, this is what for sure will be here, this is our prediction. And the truth is, there's so many things that we don't know about, and so many just different game studios and everything that Xbox owns, that the possibilities right now are kind of endless for them. But it doesn't matter if they're endless if they don't hit. And I think Xbox, it'd be great to see 1 billion games, but I also want to see quality over quantity for them too. So that's my fear with them on this, especially in games. But man, it's basically pick whatever your favorite Xbox game was of all time and think that it could be coming to this tomorrow or Sunday. Sorry, like that's the way I look at it. Like, yeah, it's weird and tough to think like that. But yeah, like all your heavy hitters, you want some representation from, right? Like there's the Halo Battle Royale would make complete sense. If you're gonna do 2 hours of nonstop stuff about Xbox, there's no way Halo doesn't get mentioned. There's no way Gears gets skipped over. There's no way Fable gets skipped over. Yeah. I mean, it's your heavy hitters need to have to be there to some degree. And there's no way you're just gonna be like, we're not gonna talk about them. That's just the way I look at it. I mean, think of that. If they did drop out of nowhere Indiana Jones, if they did do a Mandalorian, how much would you flip out over that? And that's all strong possibilities for this showcase. Yeah.
I think the other thing to think about too here is that there's another IP that people don't really talk about too often that Xbox owns, and that's Banjo-Kazooie doing a whole reboot of the series. I don't mean just remastering the games. I'm talking about a whole brand new reboot. And I can see that coming. I really can. It's been rumored again. Some people say it's going to be there. I am a firm believer that there's a good chance. I do think that they're going to come out and show. I mean, they own over 30 studios, right? I think they're going to come out and show almost everything that they're working on purposely to say, hey, right now you're right. We don't have games. And we're currently working on building our library. Here's the proof. This is what we're doing. Support us, right? And that's what I think they're going to do with the show. But you know what would be the biggest like balls move ever from Xbox is if they went ahead and showed that the Activision and Blizzard deal closed at the end of the show. That would be a great one. Yes. But I obviously know that's not going to happen.
Another thing too is we have to set Bethesda has to be represented. I mean, I don't even care if I did anything Xbox related. I'm just going to throw something Bethesda in there because I paid for it. And it would be everything. So I don't know if a Skyrim could be any. I don't know. That should be like 4 years away.
Oh, Elder Scrolls Online. I mean, Elder Scrolls the next one 6.
Yeah,
they've already confirmed that's not coming until 2026, 2027.
That's what I'm saying. But I want I want a tease of it because you just paid how much money for it. I want at least something. What else does Bethesda have? Like, could they be working on something else?
They could be working on Fallout.
You know, like is Fallout? Is that a real possibility now? Like, there's no way Xbox isn't going to have Bethesda there representing something.
Well, they already said that. So that they combined Bethesda with the actual showcase. Starfield's getting their own separate piece just because of how big the game is, and there's a lot of questions about Starfield, so they're just getting their own 30 minutes. That's why. So, but we'll see Bethesda games for sure. They did confirm that, so yeah, we're good there for sure. But one thing we keep forgetting though, Dom, is Sea of Thieves. You know, there's gonna be an update. There always is.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm too happy about that, but I again, Sea of Thieves is a great game. Don't take my comment as I'm dissing the game, anyone. I just, you know, it came out rocky, became really good over time, but to be frank, I don't really want to see Sea of Thieves there. I just want to see new games. I want to know what I'm going to be able to play this year and next year, period.
Mm-hmm. I mean, couldn't you say it for Grounded as well?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, yeah, I mean, it's true. But I also have a softer spot for Grounded than Sea of Thieves.
That's true.
So I'm not going to say that for Grounded. Yeah, I do think this is going to be their best showcase. I do think that they're going to come out and, you know, ultimately drop everything they have, right? They're going to say, hey, you know, we failed you guys with Redfall. We messed up. We haven't had games. Our first party games haven't been coming out like they should. We're sorry, but here's what to look forward to. Done.
Yeah.
And they need to do that. And again, if Hellblade does come out this year with Forza Motorsport, and possibly, let's just say, you know, we know Starfield. Well, I doubt Avowed comes out this year, but if it got thrown to, let's say, early next year, and then we got a Fable and Gears Remastered coming out this year, you know how big of a lineup that would be for this, you know, between now and this end of the year?
Quite the save.
Oh, it would be. Because remasters, man, typically they don't go wrong, right?
No, especially if they don't touch them.
Yeah, exactly. And I would go back to Gears 1 all day as a remastered and play their online multiplayer and play through the story again. And Gears 2 and 3, I'll do the same thing. You know, we just recently picked up Gears of War 4 not that long ago. A freaking phenomenal game. Or Gears 5, I'm sorry, Gears 5. And I would love to be able to play back through 1 through 3 remastered again. So, but yeah, I do think this is really what we're gonna see, and this is not including any of the third parties that come, right? There's gonna be a lot of third parties, just like Xbox or PlayStation Showcase. There's gonna be a lot of third party games that are gonna be shown, a lot of third party games that we probably have never heard of. But I'm just gonna throw 2 more things out there just because they came to my head.
Bum, bum, bum.
One being Scalebound being revamped, coming back. Scalebound was a game that was scrapped a long time ago. I would not be shocked if it gets brought back because the creative director of Scalebound actually brought it up that he would love to work on the game again. That's number 1. Number 2, this is not going to happen, but it would be amazing to see GTA 6 trailer at the Xbox showcase.
I don't know if possible, but that would be amazing.
It would be. That's why I said I don't think it's going to happen. But if for some reason they ended up pulling that out, and it's like saying, hey, you know, pulling that off would be absolutely phenomenal. I do think that if they pulled that off and they had the rights to have some exclusivity, kind of like PlayStation did for a while, that would be a massive win. Massive. But yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of good things. I'm excited for the showcase this Sunday. Again, I think anyone that listens definitely tune into their show at June 11th. We'll definitely do a reaction video shortly after, drop it in a day or so after the actual showcase. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Dom, I know you are. Any closing comments?
I really hope that Dom returns to Gears of War. That is all.
Over and out. All right, it's peace, love, and chicken grease.